Hello. I'm going to share this amazing podcast that I've heard, and it's from Lewis Hose in conversation with Andrew Huberman. And the podcast, I will post a link in the description, but the podcast is called Hack Your Brain for Unlimited Potential with Andrew Huberman. And it's, first of all, Andrew is explaining in a way that I can really learn from. I think he doesn't say in like any time. And he's really a guy with a drive, so it's very pleasant to listen to. You know, like, Andrew, if you see this, man, I love you. This is amazing. And he's a scientist, and he knows about the biochemics. So this is what I got from it, and it's really recommendable to hear it yourself, because I just give you, like, my key takeaways. And there is a breathing technique in it as well that we will practice in the end, and I will finish with explaining that. First of all, about adrenaline and dopamine. You know probably that adrenaline gives you energy, but if you're continuously producing adrenaline, it becomes stress, very simply said. And if we only produce adrenaline, we burn out, basically. But the combination of adrenaline with dopamine gives us this sensation of being on the right path, being in flow, whatever you want to call it. Like, you're writing your book and suddenly it's 6 hours later. You notice, like, oh my God, I lost 6 hours and you wrote like 30 pages. I don't know, something like that, like super flow. Now he comes with an example of other mammals, and that makes it very interesting. Like, if you would look at a lion, a lion wakes up and he needs food for himself or herself, in this case, because, female lions do the hunting, and for their kids. So they get a shot of adrenaline. Oh my God, I need food. Now that wakes them up, and that gets them going. If they wouldn't find food, they would crash at a certain moment. Now they will not die because they can go a long time without food. But once a lion smells like water, for example, when he or she is thirsty, or a prey, they get a dopamine release. And the combination of adrenaline with that dopamine makes them able to hunt a prey for like 24 hours, like really keep on going, like you have unlimited energy. And that makes me think of the film Unlimited, where you can take a pill and use 100% of your brain. Anyway, so adrenaline with dopamine. Only adrenaline wears you out, but dopamine together with adrenaline gives you the feeling of flow and even super flow. Now, how do we release dopamine? And this is very much not by reaching a goal. It's very common, and I have had this myself. After I finally finished my university, I graduated from my master's. It took me about 6 years. After that, I started working, and really, I started working in an extreme, engaging and energetic environment, like on the option and stock market, wearing a colored jacket, screaming, yelling quotes, like very energetic. And only 4 days a week. Still, I had the feeling of like, is this it? Is this, now I finished I graduated, and is this it? And it's very normal that after we reach a goal, finish a book or whatever, we get it down. Because we don't get a dopamine release of reaching a goal. But we do get a dopamine release of enjoying the path towards reaching the goal. And then suddenly Facebook wisdom is like, it's not about the goal, it's about the path. Suddenly starts to make sense from a biochemical point of view. Now, another thing that is very much worth mentioning is like, say somebody is overweight, is obese, they want to drop weight and they think like, I'm going to run to drop weight. Now, first of all, if you start running immediately 5K, or 5 miles, you wear yourself out. You get too much muscle pain, it doesn't work. So you want to build it up slowly. And this is what, according to Andrew, and I it fully resonates with me. This is where, first of all, dopamine release comes from, but also mental strength, which is, of course, you could explain also in terms of biochemics. Whenever, like the obese person that starts running and he starts running like 1 mile and he's like after 500 meters puffing and like, oh my God, this is hell. This is where you tell yourself, okay, this is the good part. And that creates mental strength. Where it becomes hard, you tell yourself, okay, this is the good part. This is totally paradoxical, of course. This is where you would want to give up. But you tell yourself there, okay, this is the good part. Where you feel like, no, like, I stopped writing that book or whatever. Tell yourself, this is the good part. There you get a little dopamine release. And that makes you, keep on going. And then 3 years later, you drop those 30 pounds or whatever you want to drop, whatever weight you want to lose. It's not about that. It's about the path towards it. And whenever it gets hard, tell yourself, this is the good part. Now, another thing worth mentioning in this podcast is, let me check. We have unconscious thoughts. While you're listening to me, you may think like, I have to buy potatoes, like unconscious thought. And you have deliberate thought. We also have unconscious action and deliberate action. Now, a deliberate thought would be write down your name. And you write down Tim van der Vliet, and this is focusing on one thing. You deliberately can direct your thoughts towards one thing, right? And then while you're watching this video, you may have undeliberate or unconscious thoughts. Now, we have the same, we have deliberate action and unconscious action. And this is also a funny thing. Deliberate thought and deliberate action always feels like work. It's the hard part. So, an example of Andrew, he is writing a book, and I am too. And this was very helpful for me because I'm a bit stuck. I have too much information. I have to kill my darlings. I'm writing about the power of paradox. It's too much, and I have to cut down my darlings. Anyway, it's a process. And wherever it becomes hard, tell yourself, this is the good part. But also, when you are working on your book, and the harder it feels, probably the quality of the book becomes better. This is totally paradoxical. Anyway, the breathing exercise, there's one more thing, and this is what I know personally. If we always have high adrenaline, we're gonna burn out, right? As I said before. But if you have a peak in adrenaline, then dopamine is released. So adrenaline up, and when adrenaline goes down, you get a release of dopamine. And this is actually a question for people who are very much into biochemics, and I don't know yet. I understand that the dopamine molecule looks very much like the adrenaline molecule. So my question is, does the adrenaline, is that transformed into dopamine inside our body? That aside. So, if you're always stressed, you're gonna burn out. I don't have to tell you. So, but if you have like a adrenaline release and then are able to calm down, then dopamine is released. Yeah, muscle buildup it's much like running. If you run, your heartbeat goes up. In the rest afterwards, your muscles build up. And this is where you feel good. If you would continuously be running, it would be very unhealthy. But having a running practice, heartbeat up. If you have a regular practice, you will have a lower heartbeat. You're able to relax better. simply said. So it's essential to be able to calm down. Now, what I do is take deep breath in, breathe 2 times as long out. And then what Andrew is saying, that you should take your breath in 2 phases. So more like, and that would calm you down even more. And he comes with the example, if somebody is crying, you get this, that is actually a physical reaction of us trying to calm down. So let's try that. Let's do, 2 rounds of each. First, normally deep in, twice as long out, 3 times breathing. Then we wait for a bit, and then we take a double breath in and twice as long out. And wait a bit and do that again and see what feels better. Like, I haven't done this, so for me this is new. And please join me with this. Okay. Calm down, shoulders relaxed. Try to breathe through the belly as much as you can. Let's breathe deep in. Twice as long out. Again. Twice as long out. Even slower, deep in. Twice as long out. Let's wait for a bit, see how this feels. Check in with your own body. Now let's do a double inhale. Let's wait a bit, check in with our own bodies again, see how it feels. Please keep on breathing. And by the way, another detail that we're doing already is nose in and mouth out. Okay, interesting. Let's do it again. So, normal in, 1 breath in. Number 2, slower. Number 3, even slower. Check in with our own body, breathe normally, see how it feels. Okay, again, double inhale, twice as long out, nose in, mouth out, 3 times. Last one, extremely slow. Let's feel again, check in with our own body. Interesting. I'm not sure if I make this up, because you know how strong the relationship mind to body is. But I do feel a little difference. It's not big, but when I do the 2 times in and then longer out, I feel my lips tingle a little bit more. And just, I think it works. Anyway, so Lewis House, Follow the Guy, amazing podcast. Andrew Huberman, same story, amazing. Please listen to this podcast. Let me know how this breathing worked for you. You know, like how if it was different from you. I'm very curious. You know, you are my personal research crowd, basically. So please leave a comment how this worked for you. And if you've listened to the podcast, maybe you want to comment on what else is very important in this podcast. And well, I want to thank you for watching. Give this a thumbs up if you like this free content. And if you want to support me, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch more of my videos. I would do it for myself, not per se to support me. You know, like do it for your own education. It's a much better reason. But anyway, thank you in advance. See you in a next or in a previous video. Bye bye.